Listen to the wolves of winter. Listen to the songs of struggle. See the suffering on thin faces. See them overcome with sorrow. First, the winter crept in slowly, snow-filled clouds as cold as iron, weaving ice upon the windows, freezing roots below the marl. As they rose to test their mettle, still the cold around them gathered. As their frostbit knuckles hardened, still they drank and sang and boasted. Then the beast began to falter. In the morning calves found frozen. So they brought the sheep and pigs in, and the cattle they enclosed. Then they went out on with their axes, on their skis and pulling sledges, chopping down the trees remaining as the hunting slowly dwindled. Hard these humans fought the darkness, holding on to thoughts of summer, till the day came that was darkest, and they sang for light returning. But the sun did not grow brighter, and the days did not grow longer, and they worried in their whispers how to face an endless winter. So they used what they'd been saving, things that couldn't be replaced, turning on their dogs and horses as the hoary days grew thinner. Then the farmers turned to robbers, splintering all bonds of brothers, raiding larders of the murdered. Men do wicked things for hunger. And outside the wolf winds wailed, while inside their courage faltered, as one year became another in the depths of Fimbulvinter. And out crawled the worm Nidhogger with a groan of violent thunder, come to suck the blood from corpses in the frozen slime of winter. And the howling never ceased while they feared and lay in waiting for the long night to be over, for a single glimpse of morning. Yggdrasil the ash tree shudders, Iadun slumbers cold and pale, and the vigilant Heimdallr blows the Jotnar horn in warning. Home they've come, Freya and Freyr, from the famous halls of Asgard. Home they've come, brother and sister, home to dying VANAHEIMR. Freya, queen of spring and maidens. Freyr, boar god of the harvest, gone to live among the Aesir from the forest of the Vanir. Back they've come from Asgard Golden, after years among the Aesir, to the hills of VANAHEIMR, where the wild waters glisten. But so stony are their faces, and their shoulders stooped in sorrow, and all VANAHEIMR braces for the news they carry with them. Fenrir Wolf has slipped his fetters, fearsome Jormungandr slithers, and the one who both beget them has escaped a grisly prison. Loki, slippery god of mischief, made to suffer pain eternal, jailed for the death of Baldur, fettered in their son's intestines. Now, at long last, freed from bondage, after such black hatred burgeoned for the hypocrites of Asgard, for the gods who have betrayed them. Now, dark Ragnarok approaches, pregnant with one final battle, just as Odin has foreknown, just as One Eye has foreseen it. And the horn blown by Heimdallr is a summoning from Odin to the colonies of Asgard, who must join the fight beside him. Nerdus, mother of the Vanir, mother to all VANAHEIMR. She remembers the beginning. She can see the giant Ymir. In between the formless matter came the humming of the heifer. It began in chaos yawning. It was birthed of the screamer.
From the corpse of slaughtered Ymir grew the ash through empty worlds, spreading branches through the heavens, sending taproots through the chasms. Toadstools sprouted on the ash tree, beetles scurried up its branches. Spiders wove their webs upon it, pools and moss formed in its fissures. worlds nested in its hollows, eating wriggling worms and crickets, singing songs into the cosmos, bringing music to the worlds. And it wasn't long thereafter came the first among the Vanir. And we settled in this country, and we called it VANAHEIMR.
Fish they caught, and game they hunted, in the hills of VANAHEIMR, underneath the birch and linden, underneath the elm and alder. And they learned the craft of magic, wielded by those called Vulur, who could look into the future while they channeled the sacred Seder. VANAHEIMR bred no rulers, only crystal streams and fountains. VANAHEIMR bore no cities, only towering skies and mountains.
One day word came to the Vanir of a new tribe called the Aitseed, who had settled in a world that lay east of VANAHEIMR. They heard of wondrous Asgard, hung with golden metal axes, bronze extracted from their quarries, had pronounced this tribe as masters. Never had our Vanir elders known a need for such possessions, but these things were in the world now, and there could be no returning. For these objects, bright with beauty, could be passed from chief to chieftain, and the right to rule one's people could no longer be refuted. So the Vanir Cirrus Gulvig traveled one day to Valhalla for to learn more of the Aesir, who had built their home beside her. How gullible young Gulvig, when she met the men of Asgard, as she gave a Vanir greeting with the graceful light of Seidr. Of Valhalla called her witch and whore and bound her, for they did not understand her, and this filled their hearts with murder. Thrice the cruel one tried to burn her, for she filled him with desire. But each time she used her Seidr, and the fire couldn't harm her. So the cruel gods of Valhalla stabbed her with their spears of metal, spirits which she could not speak to, and her Seidr couldn't save her. When the Vanir heard of Gulvig murdered by the fearful Aesir, swift a mighty host they mustered, riding out with rage like thunder. All the warriors of the Vanir, armed with oaken bows and quivers, filled with deadly flint-tipped arrows, sharper than the sharpest metal. All descended on Valhalla, sounding cries for noble Gulvig, shouting violent calls for justice, and Valhalla had to answer. the foremost battle ever waged in 9 worlds. War it was between the Vanir and the metal-loving Aesir. Down the flint-tipped arrows showered over shining walls and towers. Down the stonehead axes thundered on the golden halls of Asgard. Out came radiant Aesir warriors, shields flashing, armor gleaming, riding out in bronze and copper, bearing golden banners streaming. But no side could prove the victor. Equally both columns grappled, till at last we called a council, thus to end this endless battle. No more murder could we suffer, no more mourning mothers weeping, while the Jotuns, clothed in chaos, ever loomed on our horizons. So the world of VANAHEIMR became colony to Asgard, and we offered up our forests for their weapons, for protection. For the golden metal axes they extracted from deep bellies, that they carved beneath our footsteps, for to fell new lands for harvest. So came Heinir to the Vanir. Mimir followed soon thereafter. In return, we gave the Aesir, Njordr, and his son and daughter. And in Spit the deal was brokered. VANAHEIMR changed forever, and we kneel to Aesir fathers as we watch our world dying.
Nerdus reckons and remembers, thinking back to how it started. Nerdus, wisest of the Vanir, Nerdus, mother of the wilds. Doom is marching now to Asgard, to unmake its halls and towers, to undo the runes of knowledge, bringing ruin to its order. Nerdus thinks of one-eyed Odin, sitting in his golden throne room, waiting for the end to take him, waiting for it to be over.
Odin, patriarch of order. Odin, father of all worlds. Endlessly with all the Aesir, he has fought against disorder. With the craft of metallurgy, Odin turned raw ore to iron, smelting, shaping useless matter into shields for his soldiers. With his weapons of empire, he drove chaos from the worlds. Still, he worried of dark discord that lay everywhere in waiting. Feared invisible disorder, swimming deep inside all matter, that might one day overtake him, that would bring down all creation. One Eye doubtless knows the future, senses what was always coming, From the moment he slew Ymir, his antithesis was forming. Greybeard doubtless knows the future, and he knows he cannot change it. But he is the Aesir chieftain, and as chief, he'll rise to meet it.
Nerthus thinks then of the other, who is coming now for Odin, coming now to kill their brother, gathering all hell behind them.
From the moment of inception, Loki wasn't one to follow. They were cleverer than others and rejected dualism. They were told to fit in neatly to the warp and weft of Asgard. But the way the fates had wove them wasn't neat and wasn't docile. Wanton Loki probed for weakness in Valhalla's walls of metal. There could be no other outcome. All empires breed their endings. What great spite took hold of Loki when they chose to ruin Baldur? What filled up their eyes with poison, bringing them at last to murder? Furious, the gods reacted. Furious, they passed their sentence. Threw the reject of the Aesir down to rot in depths eternal. And now Loki burns with hatred for the tribe that never loved them. And they raise a bloody banner with a scream for anarchism.
Everyone knows of Valhalla, where the one eye brings his chosen, where the Valkyries send heroes slain upon the battle altar. And they know the dark world waiting for the ones who suffer trauma, ruled by Loki's silent daughter, where all justice is forgotten.
But too few know of the other, where the dead may go thereafter, not to hell, nor to Valhalla, but to Freya's hall, Folkvanger. These are artisans and craftsmen. These are lovers of the fields. These are those who watch the cattle and write songs about the seasons. And when all their work is over, and their backs are stooped with labor, gently down they lay their bodies and release themselves to Freya. And the goddess greets them warmly and extends her arms in welcome, and she brings them to Folkvanger in the hills of VANAHEIMR. Freya, goddess of spring mornings, ruling those who plant and gather, who have chosen simple living and care not for paths of power.
Three, then, for the dead to follow. When their little lives are over, three, to greet all souls eternal, Hell, Valhalla, and Folkvanger. One's a gleaming battle shield, one's imprisoned in its shadow. and the other holds a shovel, casting seeds into the soil. And they suffer each the other, locked inside an awful balance. But the time has come for answers, and now all must join in battle. Freya wonders what comes after. If the Vanir join the Aesir, if their families fight together, what becomes of VANAHEIMR? So the giver takes her distaff and her bundled herbs of power, mugwort, wheat bread, chervil, nettle, apple, maven, stun, and fennel. Then, supported by her sisters, she encants the secret saber, opening the sight within her, so to see the somber future. Freya sees what things will happen. Freya sees the wide webs woven as the helpless gods and giants carry out the war of Odin.
Novel far the ship of nails, pulled from fingertips of corpses, sails over flooded Midgard with its crew of fearsome Jotnar. Fenrir Wolf, with fire blazing, from his gaping eyes and nostrils, runs unfettered through the worlds to devour all before him.
Jormungandr rises slower from the deepest ocean trenches, spitting ruin from her belly, poisoning the seas and rivers. And the one they called Hell, their sister, lifts her pale hand in silence, and the damned in untold numbers spew like rats upon the world.
Out will march march the gods of Asgard to the battle plain of Vigrid, for to face their great addiction, for to die for love of violence.
All will perish in this battle.
Gods and giants, Vanir Eitzir,
Eitlings will turn to cinder.
as the ash is torn asunder. Every ballad ever sungeth,
Every story ever written.
all will be erased in fire. Everything will be forgotten.
Freya, Flaxen Queen of Maidens, tells the Vanir what is waiting, tells them of the fated ending that upon the world marches. Nothing now can change the weavings of the Nornir, At their station, there is no escape from Udur. What was started must be ended. Heavy are the gods with sorrow. Deep in sadness hang their faces. They beseech the Queen of Maidens to provide some course of action. Give us something, Queen of Maidens. Give us something we must cling to. Something glinting in the sadness. Something flickering in the twilight. There's a hollow, says the goddess, in the trunk of Odin's gallows, in the ash, a single hollow that will not be burned by fire. It is very small, this hollow, smaller than a man might enter. In all worlds, no place other, Ragnarok will spare from fire. It is very small, this hollow, but perhaps a child might enter, if they knew the way to reach it, if they knew where it was hidden. Swift, her brother, gentle Freyr, asked to go upon this mission, to descend the bridge of rainbows, ere the final page be written.
Journey swiftly, Lord of Forests. Journey swift to fated Midgard. Keep the light of hope from dying. Keep our flame of hope from failing.
Swiftly round the god they gather, all the doomed and wild banners, asking him if he succeeded, if there's hope for VANAHEIMR. 3 were lying in the cradle, says the boar god to his people. 3 lay crying in the cradle, 3 I carried to the hollow.
But what of these nameless children that you rescued, mighty Frere? Were they children of the Vanir that you carried to the hollow? Who will these 3 children follow when their bodies grow and hunger?
But the god says nothing to them, for he doesn't know the answer. And in mystery, the Vanir leave to greet the final morning. Sing, O sing, old gods within me. Help my frozen tongue to soften. Sing the pale sun up each morning, so the spring be not forgotten.